very special guest. I don't have to just look at Jeff Goodman today. We have Danielle Sargent Musselman, the wife of Arkansas head coach Eric Musselman, his better half, if you will. So, Danielle, thank you for being here with us.
Thank you. Much better half. Much better half.
Way much better.
Way better.
That's
How
right.
you feeling today? You got Elite Eight, big win.
It's incredible. I mean, we went to the Sweet 16 when we were with the University of Nevada, and it felt like such a high. It was something that I said to myself, like, if we never get here again, I'll be okay with that because this is so awesome. And then here we are in the Elite Eight. It's honestly more than I can even wrap my brain around. Just 2 seasons in at the University of Arkansas.
Danielle, do you remember the conversation we had at a bar 2 years ago at the Final Four? You and Eric were there, and I went up to Eric, and there was some rumblings at that point about Arkansas being interested. I went up to Eric. I'm like, so give me the scoop. What's going on? He looked over. He pointed at you. He's like, just ask her. I went over to you, and you were like, I don't even remember what you said, but it was just so funny. His response of like, hey, listen, it's going to be her decision whether we go to Fayetteville or not. What was that process like? Do you remember how hard that was for you? Because you're not an Arkansas girl.
No, but you know what? I sort of am an Arkansas girl. My dad is actually from Arkansas. So a little known fact. And I grew up in Atlanta, Georgia. I spent a lot of my adult life out on the West Coast, but I am a Southern girl. And I know that Eric always wanted to get back to that Power 5 level. And so whenever he talked to University of Arkansas and that situation was offered, we just made a leap of faith. And I said, you know what, this is the level that you wanted to coach at. The SEC is such good basketball right now. Like, let's go do this. And so it was hard to leave the University of Nevada just because we spent 4 years there. That's the school that gave Eric a chance, as a head coach. And we really loved everyone there and our fans and everything. But he really wanted to coach at that Power 5 level. And the Arkansas job was just perfect. Clearly, it worked out.
Yes.
So I want to know his process for deciding what the celebration is going to be after a win. We've had him jumping on top of tables. We have him ripping shirts off. So I want to know, like, do you guys game plan this? Are you kind of diagramming what the celebration is going to be before games?
No, there's no planning it out. It's all spur of the moment. He said before, he kind of like blacks out. When people go crazy and then they're like, oh, I have no idea what just happened. That's his excuse. He says he just blacks out. And so just whatever he's feeling, I mean, nobody likes to win more than my husband, at least no one I've seen. I do it sometimes, think about the other coaches, because I'm like, if such and such jumped on a table after beating us, like, he would be pissed.
Yeah, I was watching Chris Beard waiting for your husband the other day, and I'm looking at Muss. I'm like, just get over there, just shake his hand quickly, and then you can finish your celebration. Like, do you get scared of what he might do? Like, are you like cringing in a way at the end, saying like, all right, like enough, like let's go, or what are you thinking?
No, you know what? That's why our marriage works. I just accept him for all of his crazy. I have some confidence that he's not going to take things too far.
Yeah.
But
Did you tell him he can't take his pants off ever? You take his shirt off. That's it.
Pants off.
Right.
That would be too much. But for the most part, I let him be him, and just hope that he doesn't take it, a little X-rated or anything.
Well, I personally think he's a little bit of a show-off because, he's got nice abs and he clearly worked out and, does push-ups. So, can you tell him, some of us are over here, struggling a little bit, quarantine, maybe put on a couple of LBs. He's making us look bad.
You know what Eric had? Yes, Eric works out. He loves to brag about his workout. Eric has the highest metabolism. Like, if I had Eric's metabolism, I would be a supermodel. Okay. So don't let him fool everyone. The man eats like pounds of gummy worms, and he's just lucky like that.
What's it like for you, Danielle, not being able to see him in person? You're at the hotel. Like, what is it like for a coach's wife throughout this run?
You know what? It's okay. It's still fun. Someone asked me that last night. It's still fun because we have our, the school took an entire charter plane up here. So all of the wives and administrators and a lot of people are up here that we can celebrate with. And you're definitely celebrating last night. But the best part of enjoying these wins is getting to celebrate with my husband and the team. And, last time we were in the Sweet 16, I was in the locker room. I was in the locker room, my daughter, my sons, we were all in the locker room, and I, really saw them putting the sticker, you know what I mean? We really got to be there and be a part of that. So that's kind of disappointing that here they are making this amazing run, and we don't really get to be as up close and personal as we'd like to be. I really miss him, but all that being said, I'm like, just keep winning, and I'll deal for a couple more weeks.
So last night when that shot was in the air, that last shot from Max Asmus, what were you thinking? Did you think it was going in? Did you think he hit it?
No, I didn't think it was going in. I believe in the basketball gods, okay? And last year, there were so many games that did not go our way that it was really frustrating at some points during the season. And this year, so many things have just gone our way. And so I just continue to think that that's going to keep happening. I mean, I didn't really see the last 2 minutes of that Texas Tech game when I was there. Like, I watched it, but it was like a blur, it was almost a blur. So when I was rewatching it, I'm like, they missed two wide open layups. They missed two wide open layups in that game. And, we're literally a layup and a 3-pointer away from not being where we are. And I just think that this is kind of their year. I think they still have a hot shooting night left in them. It hasn't happened yet in the tournament. And I'm hoping that they're saving that for Baylor.
So how stressful is that? When you're sitting there and you're watching Musselman through all of this, and I know that he's wired a certain way. So how stressful is that for you, not being able to actually do anything? You just got to sit there and watch it.
I'm going to tell you the honest truth. I hate every single second. I hate every single second. Like, I get so excited to go to the games, and as soon as the jump ball goes, I'm like, oh, I'm miserable. Like, it's misery watching every possession. It's 2 hours of misery, and then you celebrate.
So I want to know, for people that are watching that don't know why you're so good on this, it's because of your background, that you hosted quite a few shows in your previous lifetime. How much do you miss being on TV, hosting, whether it's sports shows or whatever? Do you miss it, or is now, again, I know you've got two young kids?
No, we just have one 11-year-old. The other, my stepsons are grown up, and I do miss it. But you know what I miss more than the actual work? Because people think that what you guys do and what I used to do, they think it's like not work because it's fun. You know what I mean? Yeah. They're like, oh, you get to go on TV, but I mean, it's work, and it's a lot of hours, and I don't mind.
But it's fun too.
Yeah, I don't mind not sitting on my couch for 12 hours watching every single football every Sunday, but I miss my friends. And every time it gets around the time of, big events that I used to be at, I definitely miss the chance to just kind of be with my friends. I mean, you guys know how fun that is. And that's the good part of the whole broadcasting job.
Well, we miss it this year. I mean, this year we haven't had it. We haven't gone to games until now. Like yesterday, it's so funny. I went. I've done 4 games every day. Yesterday, I did 4 games and bounced back and forth. Literally got back at like whatever time it was, Rob, did a podcast at like 1:30, and I was beat. I was exhausted because you're not used to it. Yeah. And I'm a little older than Rob, if you can't tell. So, it's a lot older than Rob. A lot older than Rob. Fine. Give us your best Muss. Well, give us the story of how you met Muss too.
Okay, so it's not that exciting. Muss was out of a job. I'll just start there. He had been fired from the Sacramento Kings. He was a single dad, and I was in Los Angeles, and I was hosting a sports and media panel, and he was in the audience. And okay, this will take us to my best Muss story. And so he was in the audience, and he was sitting with Lawrence Frank, who was the head coach of the Nets at the time. They're good friends. And I think he fell in love with me the moment that he saw me on that stage. That's my version of the story. So after it was over, I was sitting out like on a little chair with some friends eating. There was like a little post event reception, and he came over and we were talking. And I just remember thinking like how nice he was. He's telling all these funny stories. And then he asked for my phone number, and I was like, oh, I think he's kind of hitting on me. So I gave him my phone number. We stood up after that. Okay. So we met each other sitting down, and then we both stand up, and I had heels on, and I was a good, like 3 inches taller than Muss. And I was like, I'm taller than you.
Did you say
First
it?
thing out of my mouth. And he's like, so? And so I was like, okay, if he's confident in it. So that's how we met. Sitting down.
Very cool.
All right, Danielle, I need to get some ratings from you. I need grades on how good Muss is at certain things around the house. All right.
Okay. What are we doing? Like 1 to 10 or ABC?
1 to 10 works. All right. Okay. How good of a cook is he?
Oh, 1. A negative. Is there a negative? He's a negative 10.
Can he make a bowl?
Cook at all? Nothing. 0.
Nothing. He can't even make toast. He would ask me how to work the toaster.
Come on.
I'm not lying.
So I think I know where this next question is going to go. How good is he at folding laundry?
Oh no, he's a 10. He does all of our laundry.
This sounds like me. Wait. Muss and I can't cook either, but I do I try to do everybody's laundry until I screw up and put my daughters, the whites with the darks, and they ran. Then I was in trouble. But I'm pretty good with
He's
with
a laundry champ. I actually sent him a picture since he's been in the bubble of me doing laundry because he doesn't think I know how to do it.
Can he fold a fitted sheet? Does he know how to do that?
Does he know how to do what?
Fold a fitted sheet.
Oh, no, probably not.
I don't think anybody does.
No.
What about yard work, Danielle? How is he with yard work?
That's a 1.
That's a 1. No yard work either?
Never seen him do yard work ever.
Yeah,
Can you run a vacuum cleaner? No.
No, absolutely not. Can't even turn on the Roomba.
So we figured out the only thing that Muss is good at is folding laundry.
Yeah, that's it.
And
he's a basketball coach and he folds laundry. That's the 2 things he excels.
That's probably more than I'm good for. So he's probably up on me. I can't coach. I can fold laundry, and that's about it. Listen, Danielle, we appreciate you taking a few. Great to see you. Hopefully, I'll see you in person. I'll find you on tomorrow. I'll try to find you before the game. All right.
Sounds good. Great to see you guys. Thanks for having me.
You got it. Thanks, Danielle.
All right, that was fun. We got the inside scoop on Coach Muss and the Muss.
That was good at the end. That was a good call, Rob. The 1 to 10. I like that.
I'm shocked that he can do laundry.
Fold laundry?
I'm really shocked.
I do laundry too, but I can't do anything else. So laundry's I think laundry's the overrated one that you can do because you know what? We can do it while we're on the phone. That's the key with laundry. You can fold while you're on the phone talking to other people, and it's not like you can't mow the lawn while you're doing that. You can't do the other things. Folding laundry, it doesn't take away. So you can multitask with that.
Let's go. Let's do tonight's games. So where do you want to start? You want to start with Creighton Gonzaga?
Yeah. Let's go right into Creighton Gonzaga and my hope that Mitch Belloc makes it fly today.
So at Rivers, that line is currently 13.5. Gonzaga's line 13.5.
Hasn't moved really all week.
It bounced a little bit. It went down to 13 and it came back up to 13.5, but it's basically in that same range the whole time. So what do you like there, Jeffrey? What do you got?
I'm still going to take Creighton here. I just feel like Gonzaga hasn't played this level team in a while. So I think, ultimately, this is a team that we counted out three weeks ago, right? I mean, we weren't even sure if Greg McDermott was going to be coaching them in the NCAA tournament. Now it feels like they've got a purpose. They feel like they've been counted out. Not again, to me, they've had a nice road. Santa Barbara and Ohio, good mid-majors. Don't get me wrong, really good mid-majors, but still mid-majors at that. I just want to see again Mitch Belloc, who's averaging. What's he averaging? How many? Hold on, I had it over here. So he's averaging 7.5 3-point attempts this season. Okay, here are the last 6 games, 2 for 3, 1 for 7, 2 for 6, 1 for 6, 1 for 5, 2 for 4. So he's not made more than 2 threes in a game over the last 6 games. He's got to be the Mitch Ballack that made 7 of 12 against Seton Hall earlier this year, or made 8 of 14 against Marquette, to me, for them to have a chance. I think he's got to make at least 5 today for Creighton to have a shot. And obviously Marcus Zagorowski's got to have a big game. Listen, Creighton's got 5 dudes. They do. Mahoney's good. Bishop's really good. Jefferson's good. I think they can play with them for a while.
Yeah, so I think what's going to happen is Greg McDermott is a really sharp coach. And there's some screaming in the background if you can hear it. My kids are going crazy. But I think he's a really sharp coach. And I think that he knows that he's not going to be able to run with Gonzaga. So I expect him to slow things down, try to go possession by possession, try to make this like a 65 possession game, try to play this game in the high 60s or low 70s, somewhere around there. And if he can do that and succeed in that, I think that Creighton has enough versatility and length and athleticism on their wings defensively. And I think that Marcus Zagorowski is good enough in ball screens to be able to keep it close. So the more I think about this, the more I think that Creighton can cover. Now, I don't really think that there's much of a chance of them to win, because if they play that style, they're playing a way that is not their best. Because if they play the way that their best, they're playing right into Gonzaga's hands, and I don't think you can beat Gonzaga at their own game. So I expect them to try to slow it down. Now, the only thing is that's the kind of situation where you increase the variance. The lower number of the possessions, the more variance in terms of like three-point shooting. With 2 teams that are both capable of hitting 14 threes in a game, it makes it a little bit riskier, I think, to kind of predict what's going to happen. But at a slower tempo, I just think Creighton will be able to play with them, and I fully expect Greg McDermott to make the smart decision and try to slow the game down. So I've come around. I was anti Goodman on this this matchup earlier, but now I'm on the same side as you. So I'm glad I did not.
Yeah, I think they can keep it within single digits. I think 30 minutes in, we're going to see a close game here. Gonzaga pull away a little bit, but Creighton still end up covering here. They got a point guard that's unflappable for the most part, right? I mean, Zagorowski does not get rattled. He makes good decisions. Same thing with Ballack. These guys make pretty good decisions. Now, the guys on the front line are going to have to make plays. They're going to have to make shots, whether it's Bishop, whether it's Jefferson, Mahoney.
We talked about it last night with Deshaun. I think Denzel Mahoney's the guy that's the key, because his size and strength is going to be something that's difficult for Gonzaga to match up with when they have their best 5 on the floor. As much as I love Kisper and as good as I think he can be on the defensive end, he's not someone that you want. I mean, Denzel Mahoney's 6'6", like 230. He's a man. Yeah, he's a beast. And I don't know if he's the kind of guy that can go and get you 25 tonight. And if he gets 25 and Mitch Ballack gets it going from 3, and Creighton can run what they need to run offensively, then they can probably make a game out of this thing. So
right. I mean, listen, the thing is too, Kisper's numbers from 3 are insane lately. Almost every day this year. But you look at it, and 5 of 11 Oklahoma, 8 of 12 from 3 Norfolk, 5 of 13 BYU, 5 of 12 St. Mary. He makes more than 5 every. Now again, he gets a ton of attempts. He can get in a rhythm so easy. But Mahoney can match him size and strength, which not too many guys in the WCC or certainly at Norfolk State can do. And again, I still go back to, they got an Oklahoma team without their second best player, probably. Certainly their second best scorer. So
you love that reference.
I just think Devin Harmon's a really good player.
Why do you hate the Zags, Goodman? Why do you hate the Zags? Why can't you give them the credit they deserve?
I love the Zags.
Why do you hate the Zags? All right, let's move on. We got Michigan laying 2 against Florida State. That total right now is 143. We've talked at length about how much trouble we both think that the size and the length of Florida State on the perimeter they defend, how much trouble that can give Michigan. Are you still on Florida State here? The money line right now is plus 112, and that's probably where I'm going to end up being.
Yeah, I think it's a toss-up game, obviously. Watching Mike Smith struggle against LSU, and their athleticism,
Mm-hmm.
and their, bigger guards. Now, it's not like Mike Smith hasn't faced bigger guards all year. He has, and he's done a nice job. But most of those games, he had a guy named Isaiah Livers to help him out, also in the wing. And I think that's something. Can you count on Eli Brooks to do what he did in their last game? Can you count on Shandi Brown to do what he did in the last game? And I think they both had like 19 or 20 points in that game.
I kind of feel like you can't, because those guys have been really solid role pieces.
They have. Brooks hasn't shot it like that, though.
Yeah, like you give you like credit, because I do think, like, if you talk to Phil Martelli, if you talk to people on that Michigan staff, they'll tell you that Eli Brooks is the most important player on that team because of the way that he brings everything together. And so I think that, yes, I think that both of those guys are able to make the plays that they need to be able to make. Now, the question is whether or not you think, like, the issue is those shots were created for them, right? Like, they're not guys that are going to be able to create their offense themselves. And I don't know who on this Michigan roster can create offense against this defense. Like, the whole problem that it's just, look, we saw what Florida State's defense can do against a small guard when they completely ate up Kihei Clark when Florida State ran Virginia out of the gym a couple months ago. And Mike Smith, he's bigger than Kihei Clark. He's not that much bigger than Kihei Clark. Well, that is my singular concern, is how do they create offense when you are going up against a defense whose sole purpose is to take you out of the stuff you want to run. And I think that so much of what Michigan gets comes out of the stuff they want to run. So I think there's two keys. How does Juwan Howard scheme ways to get Hunter Dickinson post touches against switches, right? Can he do that efficiently and effectively to a point where they can consistently get the ball to him? And two, Franz Wagner. I think Franz Wagner needs to be the guy that can kind of take over this game. Like, we've seen him go for 20 a bunch of times. Like, he's got to be the guy in this game. And
don't you worry about him against a big, strong bunch of like physical dudes? Like he hasn't shown up enough. Like, we see it, and I think in the NBA, we'll see it eventually. I just don't know if he's ready for that. Like when Florida State takes it to him, maybe it'll help him because they're gonna fight him. They're gonna maybe he'll get pissed off and play hard. Maybe that's what he needs. I don't know.
I don't think the issue is playing hard, because I think he does play hard. It's just like what makes him so great.
Not assertive enough. He's not assertive enough.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's assertive. That's the perfect word to use. I think what makes him great is the totality of his skill set, in the sense that he can make threes, he can play off the dribble, he's a really good passer, the ball doesn't stick, he understands how to keep the ball moving from side to side. He's a perfect piece in an offense, and he's basically playing the role that he'll play in the NBA right now for Michigan. The problem is, when you ask him to take over a game, that's not really how he's wired, and that's not really what his skill set is at this point. So I think, one, yes, you're right. This is going to be the game that he needs to take over. And two, I think this will be a great evaluation setting, because this is Florida State may not have as many pros as they did last year, but they have the size, the length, and the athleticism that Franz Wagner will see at his position in the NBA. So I do think this will be a nice setting to kind of get a sense for what he can do. All right. What else? Do you have any? Andrew wants to know if we have any takes on the over under here with those two teams.
I mean,
I'm on every first half under. First half unders the first day of the tournament.
This game is a banker's life. I would probably do that too.
I'm on every first half under hit yesterday. I think
did they? They all hit yesterday.
Everyone hit yesterday. I think the first weekend. It was hitting at like a 68% clip or something like that. I have to go back to the exact numbers.
The only thing I worry about is that now these teams are used to playing. I don't know how many times Florida State and Michigan have played a banker's life. I'd like to look at that. I don't know that off the top of my head. I'm trying to remember where I saw them. But yeah, I like the under there. I like the first half under.
All right, let's move on. UCLA, Alabama. Alabama's laying 6.5. The total there is 145. Jeff, I got a stat for you.
Go ahead. What do you got?
This?
Yeah, I'm ready.
What does Alabama shoot more than anybody else?
Threes.
And in their dribble drive offense, what play type do you get more than just about anything else? It's spot ups. spot up jumpers, and closeout situations.
Yeah.
Do you know where UCLA ranks nationally defensively against spot ups and closeouts?
No, go ahead. Last 340th.
More or less the 5th percentile.
Wow.
The 5th percentile against closeouts and spot ups.
That's not good. That doesn't seem like a good, advantageous situation for Mick Cronin and the Bruins. I hope he didn't go to the window and put too much money on his Bruins on this one.
I hope he didn't put any money on his Bruins on this one.
Are you saying? I hope he didn't put his beautiful house in Westwood or wherever.
I hope Mick Cronin's not gambling because that'll get him fired. So here's the other stat that I'll give you. UCLA allows 38% of an opponent's field goal to be 3-pointers, and they allow their opponents to shoot 34% from 3. So, I mean, look, KenPom has this at a 4-point spread. The line is 6.5. I think that Alabama wins by like 12.
Yeah, I think it could get ugly. Here's my other issue. Kind of like we said with Mike Smith, those small guards. Well, Alabama's got a lot of length against Tiger Campbell. Tiger Campbell is tiny. And they could even put, if they want to, Alabama, they could put Herb Jones on him. Like, good luck with that.
That's not what I would do if I were them.
But at times, they're not going to start with Herb Jones. But what I'm saying is, if they want to mix it up, they could throw Herb Jones for a stretch on Tiger Campbell, and he could literally stay with Tiger Campbell.
Yeah, I think what their best decision would be because Javon Quinterly is going to be on the floor. And
you got to put him on Juzang. You got to put Herb Jones on Juzang and make sure he doesn't make threes because that's the difference.
I would probably put him on Jacquez and then let like John Petty change everything around. Yeah. No.
Listen, you can win the game. Like, to me, if Juzang makes 7 threes, then you're in trouble.
Yeah, and John Petty's a good defender. He can chase him off the screens. I think that Jacquez, he's a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger. I'd want the size.
I don't trust Petty defensively like I do Herb. To me, you got to make sure Johnny Juzang does not get going in this game.
Jelly fan JQ, you got Joe in the house.
Let's hope Joe likes him. That's good, Joe. Joe, you're a good boy. Still liking Quinterly after he left Villanova after that miserable experience he had at Villanova.
Yeah, I think
I'm proud of you.
Honestly, like, I don't know how much of a conversation it is right now for Alabama. This
is the only game that I might not go to today. So, like, I'm going to go to 4 probably, but I'm thinking to myself, I'm starting at Hinkle with Creighton Gonzaga.
Soft.
Unbelievable.
We got to shame him, guys. Like, we got to shame him. You are in Indy, right?
Yeah.
There are 7 basketball games left this season. 7. No, that's not true. There are 9.
What I'm saying is,
that's not true. There are 11. There are 11 basketball games left this season. 11, and you're going to skip one of them? Unbelievable. I'm going to text Warlock and tell him to take your credential away.
I'm going to try to go to 4. I'm going to try, but like if do
it. Don't be soft.
If that Florida State Michigan game is good, I want to stay to the end. I want to try to get some good color afterwards.
Leave UCLA, Alabama early, but if you don't at least try to go to that game, unacceptable.
I could do that. All right, we'll see. By the time, listen, the only thing I'm afraid of is by the time I get there.
I'm going to bring John Fanta on every morning. You're going to get kicked off here. It's going to be me and Danielle Sargent every morning breaking down the best bets, getting you up out of here, getting you up out the paint.
Fan is still hungover from last night. I bet you he doesn't even make it to the Creighton game at 2:00. He's going to be hungover. He's still at the bar in downtown Indy.
Yeah, he never left. He slept there. All right, last game. Yep. USC -2 facing Oregon. At totals 138. Jeffrey, where do you stand on this one? This is the hardest cat for me.
By far, this is the hardest game. I mean, I just watch it's so hard because you just watch USC blow out Kansas. Now, I know Kansas isn't very good this year, but it was an absolute steamroll. And the Mobleys were great. And I'm impressed with like how hard that team plays. And I really think Andy Enfield's done a great job with that team, blending some of these transfers that we didn't know much about. Like Drew Peterson comes from Rice. We're like, all right, you know what? Like, he's going to be okay. he's not going to be great, but like he's been really, really good. But I just can't get over, like I can't get around betting against Dana Altman in the tournament. I can't, like I literally can't do it, especially when Dana Altman's got talent and he's got kind of the new age way of playing, which is spread you out, have a bunch of really good wings, have a bunch of really tough wings, and make shots. Now, again, they're not going to have an answer for Evan Mobley. They're not. But I don't know if anybody does. I think Evan Mobley in his sleep gets like 20 and 10 in this game. Mm-hmm. You just can't let his brother get going. Like Kansas allowed him to get going. That to me is the key. You can't let some of those other guys get going. Give Evan Mobley his 20 and 10. And you better make shots if you're Oregon, and you better not get crushed on the glass. So I'm going to take the Ducks, quack quack, but I think it's going to be a hell of a game. Oh, Jimmy.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think that it's a good sell high spot on USC after the blowout of Kansas because of everything that Kansas was kind of going through last week. And I think that the mismatches that are going to be created by Oregon playing on the perimeter will be a little bit too much for USC to handle. That said, if you were to tell me that Evan Mobley was able to guard Amaru Yee or Eric Williams or whoever he ended up getting matched up with, their size forces Dana Altman to have to play the Kepnang kid, and
then you're in trouble.
And then I think that it becomes a little bit of trouble because Isaiah Mobley and Evan Mobley, in theory, can both defend fives on the perimeter. So I don't feel comfortable about it at all. I do think that the place that I want to be, I think this is basically a pick-up, right? I think these are two very equal teams. And I understand that USC beat the brakes off of Oregon already this season. But I do think that this is very much a pick-em, very much a game where with two teams that are even. And so I just want to be on the side that's plus money and plus value. So that's where I'll be with Oregon.
What else? Somebody asked a question of what fan base has shown up best in Indy this week. I would say Arkansas. Those fans are awesome. They're awesome, but they're not. The Woo Pig Suey chant drives me crazy. But their fans are really, really passionate. There's a ton of them here. I think they just fit them all. They just throw them all under the Muss Bus, and it's like one of those like clown cars where you just keep Arkansas fans just keep coming out of the Muss Bus, and it's never ending or something.
Goodman,
but I would say Arkansas.
I want to hear you call the Hogs.
What's that?
I want to hear you call
the Woo Pig Suey. No,
let me hear it. Do it. You got to do it.
I don't even know what it is, but it's honestly one of the more annoying chants in college sports.
Right. Well, that's where we're going to end. We have the lovely Danielle Sargent Musselman on, and
I love her, but the chant's good. Jeez,
that's how you end it. Yeah, you got to piss all the Arkansas fans off. Anyway, we appreciate you guys being here. Let me try that again. We will be back again tomorrow morning to break down the Elite Eight games and to talk to you about what happened today.
Bet Rivers. There it is.
Bet Rivers, yeah. Use Bet Rivers promo code 250match. Gets a $250 match deposit. And Jeffrey, if you guys come back tonight at the end of the games, which will probably be around midnight or so, we are going to be doing another live post game show. I don't know if Deshaun and I are going to allow you to be on the stream.
Well, here's the thing. Fana and I have already said we are probably he'll be gone unless Creighton wins. He's going to be gone. I mean, he went into a bar last night. I might. It's too cold out to drink outside tonight. It was beautiful yesterday, so I may be doing it. Well, maybe I'll do it again here, eating more cold pizza and drinking Blue Moons.
Yeah, well, more cold pizza. You'll get roasted again for that one. All right.